it's me, Alana Marie. I'm back. I'm just going to make a bunch of videos throughout this process, and once I actually create this YouTube video, you'll be able to see me throughout different parts of this fashion show. So I thought I would talk a little bit about what this is. So, the fashion show is going to be at the end of April, and I am in charge of everything. I'm in charge of getting the models, booking the venue, crocheting all of the clothes, and specifically for my line, I'm making all the clothes. Some crochet, some are fabric, some are a mix. And I'm paying for it out of pocket. And may I remind you, I left my corporate job 2 years ago. Last year, I worked the entire year with music and art and like teaching job of vocals every here and there. And because of that, I basically, the funds
Help
are
me!
the funds, you know. So becoming this fashion designer dream is getting through grants and fundraising. Now, I have not received a grant yet because I'm still learning how to write them, and every time I find a grant, it's always like past the due date, or the deadline, so that's been a struggle for me. But I will say the fundraising is something that my mom brought up, and I completely forgot about it, like in high school when you do like bake sales and all that kind of stuff. So I'm thinking about having an open mic like fundraiser, and so that the tickets go towards that. May I remind you again, this is all on a timeline because at the end of this month, I'm going on a cruise for a week, and I won't really be able to crochet or talk to my models as much or this and that. So I want to get a lot done this month, and then when I get back from my trip, I only have technically 2 months because it's at the end of April, but I definitely put the pressure on myself. So no, I did it to myself. There's nobody else to blame. But I'm excited. I'm having fun with the crocheting part. I have been procrastinating the actual sewing. I've done it a couple times.
Hello?
I've done it a couple times, and it was fine. But, like, it was just, like, practice. Like, to sew an actual garment is, like, kind of nerve-wracking. But I'm gonna do it. I've made one denim skirt, and it was a little bit atrocious, but it was okay because it was my first time. And it was, like, a ruffle bottom, and it was fine. Then I made another skirt, and on one side the seam is absolutely ridiculous. And then on the other side the seam is almost perfect. And I was like, oh my gosh, look at me, a sewer. A seamstress. A person. I just thought I would log this process because it really just goes to show, as artists, we be struggling.
Help me!
And I've learned a lot along the way of people who I see on Instagram, and I know people say, like, social media isn't always real. But when you see someone who's, like, in your niche, like, constantly posting about all the successes and everything, it's amazing and it's really inspiring. But on the other side of that, you're like, okay, so what am I doing wrong that this isn't happening for me as well? A lot of these people are in, like, credit card debt, or they have a really amazing support system and friend group that's willing to do stuff for free, because I have a friend group, a lot of them that I've curated in making my art stuff, and so many amazing people have been willing to do stuff for free that I wouldn't have been able to do this. But you do along the way get people who are like, so is this paid? And you say no, and they're like, I can't be a part of that. And it's completely understandable because you want to make money off of your art, off of your talent. That's what you're in this for. But like, for example, with me, I know that there's going to be gigs that I am not paid for, and I'm not going to turn it down because that's exposure, that's getting to know people. That's what I'm really wanting to do, is connect. But overall, bills are still due at the end of the day and the first of the month. So it's really hard I can do that for myself, but it's hard to expect other people to just be willing to take that big of a chance, and that you really shouldn't be asking them to do that as well, because I know I want to get paid for my art, so I can only assume other people do too. So again, having a great friend group has been revolutionary. The people who are understanding of, okay, it's not making money now, but like, when you make it, like, don't forget, like, I don't know if this is a good time to bring this up, but you owe me $33,000 in legal fees. basically, I just wanted to talk about that, like how interesting it's been to have some people who are locked in along for the ride, and other people who are like half locked in that want to see it come to fruition, but are like, I can't do it for any less of this much. And you're like, I understand that. I'm not even mad about that. And sometimes along the way, you have people who agreed upon it to not get paid, and then halfway through they see how drastic of an event this is, and they're like, okay, well, isn't this paid? You're just like, no, I put myself in debt for this, so no, that's great. And I have not done that, thankfully, but so for example, I had a showcase last year that I hosted myself, and I paid for everything out of pocket, and I wanted to be able to pay all those artists, but I knew that I wasn't going to be able to. So what I did was, when I was posting for people to audition and everything, I said, this is like a showcase. Think of like how you were in college, how it's just a display of talent and a way to network with other people who are trying to do the same thing as you. And even then along the way, people were like, well, is this paid? And I was like, no, it's just a showcase. I put that out there in the beginning so that there would be no questions later on. And you really do have to preface that, because it's completely, again, it's understandable that people would be like, is this paid? No? Okay, then I'm not interested. So you want to put it out there first so that you don't have a bunch of arguments on the back end like, oh, I thought this was going to be a paid gig, and then it's not. That showcase went really well. The venue, because I like to be a bit transparent about how much things can cost. So the venue itself was $1,200, and I wasn't working really at this time, so I'm pulling from my savings. I'm pulling from some of the times where because I sell my art, and that's where I get a lot of my money, which is so unfortunate because music is where I want to be, and here I am doing a fashion show. Anyway, doing that was really hard, but so it was $1,200 for that. It was $100 for an insurance fee. They never once asked to see that paperwork. It's fine. And then I did make some back end by ticket sales. I had a bunch of vendors, so I had the vendor fee, so that was able to pay it off too. So what happened was I just broke even. I didn't really make any money during that show, but I was able to. Basically, the venue paid for itself, which was amazing, and it hosted a great show. For this fashion show, I wanted it to be a free event, and I wanted to fundraise and everything so I could pay for the venue, but so I could also pay the models, and I would love to be able to do that. So fundraising is cool. Fundraising has been something that has been really heavy on my mind, so the open mic, all that kind of stuff, it'll be fun. Sorry, my nose. Hello? Thank you. So, fast forward to today. I will be going to get some materials from Michael's, and seeing how I can make this work even more. I'm making these like belt things, and I don't know, because the belts, they certainly don't cover like a skirt, so I still have to make skirts. I'm making bloomer shorts. Maybe the skirts will be the fabric, and then my belts will be the crocheted part. And then it's a hoodie line, so I've created these animated characters that will be displayed on the hoodies, and I'm so excited to be able to display them, because it really is, I'm trying to create wearable art, so that's where my painting skills will merge with the hoodies and everything. Can't just send these people down a runway in hoodies. So I definitely took that upon myself for a lot of hard work. Side note. In this video, you will see me look at this display screen that I'm looking at. You'll see me look over here, over there, and every now and then at the camera. I struggle with eye contact, so we're just going to have to deal with that, okay? Because I know a lot of people say, like, your presence on camera, like you want to look directly in the camera. I can't do that all the time. So, but yeah, I wanted to make this video because I needed to talk about it. I need to process all of the work that I've created for myself, because it's hard. It's a hard thing to do. You're taking a chance on yourself. You're trusting the people around you, and you're just trusting that it'll work out, because it has to, like, I don't want to go back to working those jobs that made me super, like, sad and drained and everything, but working like this is really hard because you're not making as much money, and the security isn't always there in the beginning. I'm hoping that this will sustain itself and be able to travel so far, because I have so many plans and so many things I want to do. And that's one of my downfalls, is you have to reel it in. Like, come in with a plan and focus it, because, for example, this fashion show, I also thought about it being a release party for an album and all that kind of stuff, and I still want that, but it might be putting too much on myself because I want to produce it myself. So those might be two separate projects. I don't know. But I struggle with that. I sing, I dance, I do a lot of fashion stuff. Like, I have all these niche hobbies, and people say, oh, so you're a, oh my gosh, what is the quote? Master of none, something of some. I can't think of it right now, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's not the case. I definitely feel, I don't think I'll ever master any of it, because I want to be constantly learning. Always. I never want to forget to stop learning. So, forget to keep learning. Hello? I want to never stop learning. That's right. Anyway, and to do that, I want to be in a constant state of being able to take in more information about something. And, for example, I feel strongest with my vocals, learning about vocals. I'm still learning about music theory and everything, but vocals, harmonies, all that kind of stuff, that's my strong point. I started selling my art because that was what was making my money. So I've definitely honed that craft. I've gotten good at some things. I've let myself just be bad at others. I've started producing. Pardon. I started producing on my own. I do crochet. I do punch needling. I do painting. I do sewing. I do all this other stuff. And it's to make the money that I want it to be like a constant flow, where it's more like, oh, I have a big company and it has these branches, and that's okay. Because when you look at a company and it has branches of different things, you don't question it. But when it's just one person who's interested in a bunch of stuff, you're like, oh, that person's scattered. And that's the way my brain works. It's not necessarily scattered. It is. But there's just so much stuff that I want to do, but I have to pick when to focus on each one so that things can actually get done. And that's why I started hosting events, was so that I could pull my focus. So that like a couple years ago, I had a release party. That's all it was. I did sell some of my art there so I could make money, and I sold tickets, but it was for the release of an album. Then I had this showcase, and that was just to pull together the people I know, get them talking, get them networking, and to have my first audience that was really there for me. And that was really cool. Over, like, I want to say about 100 or so people were there. I was not expecting that. And if I could even have half of that for this fashion show, it'd be amazing. So now there's this fashion show, and I've talked about wanting to fashion design and all that kind of stuff, so I gave myself a platform to be like, okay, Lana, you want to fashion design? Throw a fashion show, get it done, you know? And so next, if I'm producing, I'm going to have a deadline so give yourself a deadline and make it somewhat loose. Something that you can't go past, but have some deadlines leading up to it as well, because, and make it for others, that you're doing something that involves other people so that you can't miss this deadline. Because I know when I set deadlines for myself, it's really easy to just be like, oh, well, I can just miss it, like, I can extend it a little bit, but if you start telling people about it, so for fashion show, I started that by being like, I really want to sew. I want to get it out there. I had a sewing machine for 2 years that I did not touch, and I was like, I need to sew. And it sat there. And so I said, I'm going to do a fashion show. And look who has to learn how to sew now. Because I have because I have all these people depending on me. I'll keep you posted for this process. And thanks for listening to me ramble and rant about, I don't even remember all the things I talked about, but it was helpful for me to just talk. And maybe that's what these videos will be for the vlogs, is just processing. Perfect timing. My fiance's back. Have a good day. Bye. Okay, here we go. Okay, hi everybody. It's me, Alana Marie, and I'm back, and I'm going to Michael's today, and here we have my fiance, Sam. He's so nervous. I love it. And so I'm having a fashion show, as y'all know. But do you? Because I haven't posted any videos. Anyway, but we're going in here to find some yarn. I've thought about getting knit, like, circle needles, but I already have some, so I don't know if I should get more. I should probably find the ones I have, yeah. Mm-hmm. And so it's just the types of yarn, because I want to be able to make a flowy skirt. So we're looking for better yarn. We're looking for, did I say anything else did I just say we're going to Michael's? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we'll see when we get in there. There we go. Okay, so we just came back from Michael's. I didn't record it all when I was in there because I got a little I got nervous, and there's people I don't know. And then I didn't know what to say. Anyway, so I'm just gonna do a little Michael's haul, and my lovely assistant Sam is gonna hand me stuff. Okay, hand me stuff. Okay, so this is what we got first. Oh, I'm acting as if they can't see you pull it out of the. It's fine. So I've never worked with this type of yarn, the Karen like cloud cakes, but I've seen so much good stuff about it, so I bought 2. Yeah, I think I bought 2 of these. They're both, yeah, thank you. They're both in like this pinkish color. There was a blue one as well, but I wanted to work with these first and see, and again, this is all about skirts, so I got these 2 things of yarn, and then I got this one as well. It's like this pastel, like really, really pastel blue and pink, and a little bit of green, I'd say, as well. And I had to get some crochet hooks to... Okay, us being on the same page, I had to get some crochet... So cute! This is why we're getting married. It's because we can link up over crochet hooks. Right. Anyway, so I got 2 new sizes. I'm definitely building my arsenal of crochet hooks. Soon I will have so many different ones. Oh, and then I got like some pins, because with sewing, the sewing that has not happened yet, I have clips, the little like plastic clips, and they are really good for like when you're working with like flat surfaces, but as soon as something gets bulky, and then you have to put it in the sewing machine, I tend to like lose my, like the flatness of it. So for example, with the clips, like you of course have to take them out as you go, so you can't like sew over them, and I've seen videos where people can like sew over these, so I think that'll help me, especially because I am a beginning person doing sewing. And that's all I got. I tried to keep it under $50, and technically I did, because
you were 52.
So I was at 52. That's how you know it's cold. Actually, they might have seen them running in the window as they went by, but 2 people just ran by in ski masks. Hey, you think they robbed somewhere?
There's not really much to rob. It's Five Below.
TJ Maxx? But sometimes people rob like smaller store. Well, TJ Maxx is pretty known, but
let's not put it on the Negroes.
That was a white man.
That was a black man.
There was
light skin.
Sam, that second person was not light skinned. He was white.
That was a black
he
man.
Was the one man was a black man, but the other, that was a white person. He was white, Sam.
We probably should.
We should. Yeah, we'll cut. We'll just say that there was recap. There's 2 people who just ran by. It was a black man and a white man. He says it was a black man and a light skin.
With 2 black men.
So 2 black. Oh, right, because 2 black men. I should know.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I'm ashy. Anyway.
I was looking at my knee too earlier.
So yeah, that was Michael's. We looked at flowers. I'll probably end up going to like a dollar store as well, just for decorations for the day of. Still have time, but it was good to look at. But we saw this wreath. It was $80 of fake flowers. I was a little upset. Because they put the things right next to it of like what you would put on a wreath, and it was so much less that it just didn't make sense. But anyway, so that's... Thank you. Moment of silence. Are you looking at like that? What are you looking at?
I was just looking at your golf
Was it for
balls.
the moment of silence?
Just looking at your golf balls.
I keep golf balls in my car so that I can juggle whenever I need a break. But I don't know how to juggle, so it's just really there for decoration. But yeah, so that was Michael's, and maybe I'll make another video of me actually making something out of those yarns. But a little higher. There you go. Ooh. We have to do it at the same time. Ready? 3, 2. Okay, thank you for indulging me. Bye. You can say bye. Or you're just...